Right then, pay-per-click, quick, easy, instant traffic, and long-term can be quite expensive, and if you don't pay, you don't continue to get your traffic. So this is inside Google's pay-per-click program, which is called AdWords. So there is a campaign running. To start a new campaign, you literally click add a new campaign, you name it, you pick the areas that you want to show your adverts, and that's quite important. So you don't want to show them to the whole of Australia if you're a local business in Beenleigh, and you can actually just type in Beenleigh and it's got Brisbane. You can then go into the map, you can then reduce the size of it. You can then pick which sites you want to go onto. You only ever want to go onto Google search. Okay, so you want to uncheck all of the others. You never want to advertise on other people's sites. It'll cost you a fortune. Yep.
Now, will that work from the location that they're searching from, or the keyword that they type in?
It works from the location that they're searching from. In fact, you can choose now. You can choose. So if somebody is in Sydney and types in hairdresser Gold Coast, you can choose to show them that ad because it's search intent rather than actually physical location. You can choose which devices you show your adverts on, whether you show it on just desktops, mobiles, or tablets or iPads. You then choose how much you want to set as a default cost per click. You can then add things like location, your phone number to the advert, and all you want to do is stand out on that first search engine results pages. That's all you're looking for because it will draw people's eye. And then there's some advanced settings. So once you've set up your campaign, so I'll cancel the new one and go into the existing one, you then set up an ad group. So an ad group is, you can label it. For this particular client, is a laser skin clinic. They offer IPL, microdermabrasion, facial peels, teeth whitening, and a whole host of stuff. So what they would want to do for each of their business areas, they would want to create different ad groups. So I'll go back and do an example. So this one's for laser hair removal. That's their advert. Laser hair removal, safe and effective for face and body. Special offers available. Call today. laserSkinSpecialist.com.au. And then you choose your keywords. There'll probably be some funny keywords in here because of the nature of what they do. But as you can see, you get a whole host of information once your ads are live. And if I just take the first one, laser removal hair, we've had 36 clicks from 856 impressions of the advert, which means it's getting a 4%, just over a 4% click-through rate. It's costing $3.19 a click, and so far they've spent $114 on that ad. Their average position in the advert's been position 1.9, and then there's a couple of other bits of information. If you look down, you'll see that some of the keywords do much better than others in terms of the click-through rate. So laser hair removal Gold Coast has had 18 clicks from just 94 impressions to get nearly a 20% click-through rate. And if you can monitor that versus your conversions, Google will start giving you more and more or much higher rankings in the pay-per-click, even though you don't necessarily pay as much. And the way that they think about it is this: if I bid $1,000 a click on an advert and it's highly irrelevant, how many people are likely to click on the ad? Probably no one. But if I only bid $1 but I get lots and lots of clicks every day, then Google still makes all of their money. So that's why it's not just about how much you're willing to pay. So that's a very quick, I'm just conscious of time, very quick intro into pay-per-click. You can see that the text ad, you just literally, I've got 3 ads running for this particular one. You can, what Google will do is it will show different ones and work out which ones get the best click-through rate for you, so you can split test them. Okay, I'm not going to say any more about pay-per-click because otherwise I'm going to lose too much time. Has anybody got any specific questions they'd like to ask about pay-per-click? No? Okay then, so the SEO side of things, what people always ask for, don't necessarily know that they need it or want it. Advantages. So this is trying to go for the #1 organic position on Google. That's what SEO is to me. Yeah. High number of free clicks, because they're not free, because someone has to do a lot of work to get you to #1, depending on the keyword. And a lot of you, as you saw when I asked the question before, a lot of people will click the #1 result. They trust Google to give them the right information. Yeah. So if you can get to be #1 for a keyword, there's an implied trust. Disadvantages for SEO is difficult to learn, or you need to pay somebody to do it. It is constantly changing, and it's highly competitive. There's only one #1 spot for each keyword. Okay, so if you want to rank for credit card or mortgage, they're not particularly good keywords anyway, but they're highly, highly competitive. So what does SEO actually involve? Because it's a question that I get asked quite a lot, and people don't really understand how you actually make a site rank towards the top on Google. First of all, it's the information that I talked to you about earlier on your actual website. So what's on your actual website is important. The title of your page, the heading, where you've bolded text, if you use the different heading structures, the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, like you've got in Microsoft Word. If you've optimized your images, if you've labeled alternate text and titles for each of your images, if Google can actually read words inside video now, so it'll actually scan your videos and find out if your video is about that subject as well. The text is important, the keyword ratio is important. There's a whole host of factors that are on your site that apply to trying to rank in SEO, and it's called on-page optimization. The big thing to remember is new, unique, relevant content. Off-page optimization is much harder to try and explain. What did people do before the search engines were around? Does anyone know the answer to that? Before there was a search engine, how did you use the web? The web was still there, but there were no search engines. So if you went to a website, how would you find another website? By links, yeah. So what used to happen is people used to join like link groups, and what they would do is at the top right of the page they would have next page or next site, or people would link to you from within their thing if they knew about you. Okay, so that's the way that people originally got around the web. So what most of the search engines do is they measure how many of those links that you've got to your site. And if you've got lots of links from lots of different websites that are all about related subjects, it's almost like a vote for your site. So part of off-page search engine optimization is to go and build links in appropriate places to obviously promote your site with the right keywords. What happened was a lot of people did a lot of spamming. So there's obviously millions of blogs. When you leave a blog comment, you can write your name. People engineered software that would go and put 10,000 comments like this is a great blog post and use their keyword as their name in order to get a link back from that site. People do the same thing with forums. People do a lot of things with article directory sites, and a lot of it is very, very spammy. And what Google did last year is they made a massive update and they cut out sites that had a lot of those types of links, and it affected a lot of people. So that's why I say to you, try not to follow the tricks or to try and beat the search engines, try and give them what they actually want in the first place. A big thing that is that's happening right now with the advent of Google Plus is the social buzz or social sharing of a website. In Russia, there's a website that's actually #1. It's called Yandex. It's not Google, and people vote whether or not it's the right site for the keyword, and it works, and it's more favoured, and it works better than Google in Russia. So Google's now incorporating that. You've probably seen +1 signs on websites, on Google search results, on Google Ads, and Google Plus, which is their new social network, if I like a page, if I give it a +1 and you're in my circles, that search result will actually appear higher for you than it would do for anybody else. Does that make sense? Yeah. So almost like if you're my Facebook friend, and I've said something's good, then you'll see it higher up in the search results, but applied to Google. Okay, I'm not going to go into search engine optimization any further than that, but I am going to go into Google Places, which, if you remember, was getting your business listed on the front page of Google for a local search intent query on the map. It is definitely the most important free part of Google for a local business. And it enables you to rank highly for highly competitive keywords. What I'll do is I'll work through a very quick example. So all I've done, I've actually logged in as one of my clients, which is a building company called Mint Construct. And rather than add another business, I'll go in and edit one of his. So we'll go in. And to get to this, it's google.com/places. Google Merchant Center, and yes, I've spelt it wrong on purpose. Okay, it's for e-commerce sites. Again, I don't know whether I'll be able to show this. Has anybody ever done a search query for something, and they've come up with what's called shopping results, quite close to the top? Has anybody ever seen that? No, no one's seen that. Right. So here you get the adverts. They know it's not a local search query, or they can't tell. You've got adverts down the right hand side. You've got the first normal result, and then you've got what are called shopping results. Now, in Australia, this is it's very underutilized compared to America and other countries, which means that there's massive opportunity for people to get their products into Google and to appear right at the top. What Google does, if it recognises that it really is a shopping query, it pulls stuff from eBay and Overstock and companies like that to fill the gaps, but it will use normal companies first. So, Google Merchant Center, it's for e-commerce sites, so you have to be selling something online. As I said, it's not heavily used in Australia. I've given you a quick example of the results. All you do, type in Google Merchant Center into Google itself, go there, and then follow the instructions. Add your products. You can add them one by one from a text file. If you've got an e-commerce site, most of them are able to produce feeds, and Google can accept the feed. So as you update your website, it updates that as well. I thought that worth mentioning. Okay, so I'm going to finish with Google now, unless anybody's got any other questions. I'm conscious I've left out YouTube, but I'm running out of time.
We found with our business, we build horse floats.
You build?
Horse floats.
Yeah.
We've been in business for 7 years now. We found Google didn't attract as much as having the points on other sites, like all the pony clubs and that. Most of the pony clubs, we went and spoke to them and whatnot, and we get more of our customers through the links through them than what we do. So we go through Bing, but
different businesses. I'll do some example businesses in a second, and it's much harder if you like. Facebook might not necessarily work if you're selling business to business, for example. But equally, you can build a business. I've got a client who built a business in 4 months up to $200,000 a month turnover on Facebook alone.
wow.
So it depends what your business is, and you have to look at that in your marketing mix and your marketing blend. So if you remember, I said there were 700 million active users with an average of 20 minutes per day. It's where people are hanging out online, or it's one of the big places. It's got amazing demographic targeting, so you don't target by keyword, you target by the type of person that you want. And all you need to really think about is how you're going to funnel people into your offer. So I'll give you an example of that right now. So I've done a search for mobile hairdresser, and I've changed the location to the Gold Coast instead of Brisbane. One of my clients is sat number one on the search engines for the places listing, and you can see I've made them stand out by giving them 6 Google reviews, so that there's 5 gold stars sat there, which obviously tries to draw attention to that particular listing.
And we would believe that that was a trusted business because it had 6 stars.
They are genuine testimonials. Yeah, I haven't just made them up.
Oh.
but people do. But people do. No, she does get them. Okay, so this is Melissa's site. I apologise for the name; it's not mine. So she's a mobile hairdresser. She's one person on her own. Obviously, we built her a website. She ranked for a number of different keywords. We did too good a job on the wedding hair. She gets people flying in from all over Australia to do their hair, just because she's number one on Google. She had people fly at the Melbourne Gold Cup. She had people fly from Perth to the Gold Coast to get their hair done, to then fly down to Melbourne. And that's the trust that people get from the number one position on Google. So obviously you can sit and read her site or anything else, and the big thing is that she's got on here is a free Schwarzkopf hair treatment worth $30. Just join her on Facebook for details. So the big thing with a hairdresser, if we just come to try and think about what she's really trying to achieve, she sells her time. So all she needs to do is build herself to whatever the number of clients is, and then get them to repeat every 4 to 6 weeks. So if you were going at it and you could afford to, you'd offer free haircuts, first haircut, and just get your 100 people like that. Yeah, because then you've got your client base going over and over and over. So
like incentive offers.
Yeah, offer an incentive offer for this particular. She sells her time, so obviously she needs to be working the whole time. So the quicker she can build to fill her time completely, the better. The other thing is, because she sells her time, next Thursday she might have, I don't know, the afternoon where she hasn't got any clients and she wants to fill it. So she needs a way of talking to all of her clients. And thankfully enough, if people belong to her Facebook page, she can do that in a very gentle way. And I'll show you how. So the first thing is, people click the thing for the free Schwarzkopf hair offer. Okay, and they land on a Facebook page, and I'm not logged in at the moment. And what you can see is, you can tell straight away that you're on the right page because the branding is the same. The message in the middle is click like to get your free Schwarzkopf conditioning treatment worth $30. So people click the like. I'm not going to click like because I already have. And when they so if you had clicked the like button and you had just landed on the page, this would be the page that you would then see. Okay, so this is, thanks very much for clicking like. To get your free Schwarzkopf conditioning treatment worth $30, please give her a call, book your cut and colour or whatever it is, and if you want to, click here and tell your friends. Yeah, so she's got on her page 105 people that have clicked like. What does she put out as her messaging? She puts out celebrity stuff to show their new hairstyles, ask people what they think, because after all it's a social platform. Occasionally she'll tell people about a new product, and then she'll say, I've got some free space in 2 weeks' time. She came on board with me in June last year. And she, at the time, she was paying some rogue company who'd got an image up as a website with pay-per-click, and basically they turned her off straight away when she stopped paying because she wasn't getting anything. And she's now booked up about 4 weeks in advance, and obviously getting those things that I said. She hasn't got a weekend free until July, which she's not very happy about, but she's making loads of money on the wedding side of things. So it's completely transformed her business, and she's got her clients there to speak with all of the time. So that's an example of how to set up a funnel and to think about your marketing and what you're trying to achieve. So people search on Google, they find you, you drive them to an offer, you make them click the like button, you give them the offer and you ask them to share it with their friends. If you want to build another way, one of the best advertising platforms is on Facebook. A couple of quick things. When you do an advert on Facebook, always drive the traffic to your Facebook page, because you're building Facebook's ability to sell more advertising. They give you a cheaper rate than if you were driving it to an external website. So I'll just pick the same site. So you can type whatever you want into the ad. You can put an image up, you preview it. I'm sure you've also, is everybody on Facebook? Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is, so we'll do it as if we're advertising for Melissa. I'm going to choose to advertise only within the Gold Coast area, and I'm only going to go out to 16 kilometres. Okay, so you can see that Facebook's updating on the right hand side how many people I'll be showing my advert to. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm only going to target women between 25 and 30 for this particular ad. I'll require an exact age match, and I'll have a look how many people that is. So that's still quite a lot of people, 20,800. I don't want to get 20,800 clicks. You can enter precise interests into Facebook, and this is the part that makes Facebook different to everything else. I'm going to switch to broad category targeting. And lots of ladies like shopping, I'm sure you'll all agree. So I'm going to go for the ones that like beauty products, and that's what I'm going to advertise to. And now I've reduced it to 1,760 people of women in the Gold Coast, aged between 25 to 30, who are interested in buying beauty products. Okay? Now that, and obviously I'm going to only show that to people who aren't fans already of the page. So 1,900 people.
Can I ask a quick question about that? So if I, just being a Facebook user, would I have to say that my interests were beauty products for it to find that would be the case?
No, you know when you like a page or you
Yeah.
type stuff into your profile, Facebook knows a lot about you.
Wow.
So though it doesn't identify you individually, you can still advertise to that audience. So what you could do is, I mean, for her, you can start getting very creative. You can do things like people who've recently got engaged, recently moved, that type of thing.
And Facebook would find that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
So-
they
so
do the advert here as well.
page
You know,
on,
Yeah.
when you click on something and then the advert comes up.
yeah, on the right hand side there, we
Yeah.
have, suggested sites and
Yeah.
things like that on the right on your
Yeah.
Facebook page.
So what I would do for Melissa is I'd probably do a number of different campaigns. I'd probably do one for people who were recently engaged, and the advert would be recently engaged. Yeah, why not commission me as the Gold Coast #1 hairdresser to come and give you a talk about or a free something on their Facebook page? So, and you can think of there's endless possibilities. I did one for Jamie Oliver in the UK, and we built over 100,000 people in about 24 hours. It was just phenomenal. For the cost of about, well, what would be the equivalent of about $450.
Well, it was on Facebook. We went to one of his cooking seminars at Logan.
Right.
It was on Facebook because we seen it come up on that suggested thing on the right.
So a couple of things that you want to try and try and do from this is you want to try and narrow your audience down in terms of numbers. You don't want it too low that it's going to be ridiculous. Anything over, Facebook will let you do it from anything over about 60, but really you want to look for at least a couple of hundred. If you don't know who your audience is by a particular demographic, but something that's required by Facebook, for example, age, what you can do is repeat the advert 10 times and just have all the different age bands.
But would that not cost you?
No, you only pay per click. Well, actually on Facebook there's two choices, which is the last thing. So you can either pay per click or you can pay on a cost per 1,000 impressions. Okay. What you always start doing if it's a new account is you should always start on the pay per click, and if you segregate your adverts, what you might find is that some of them get many more clicks. So if they get 5 clicks per 1,000 impressions, Facebook will tell you that. So if you're paying, it'll be cheaper to pay on a cost per 1,000 basis. But you can only tell that once you've actually set up your campaigns and spent some money in the first place. Anything else on Facebook? Okay, so that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover today, except for the Google Places, which I'll send you some information on Google Places for anybody who's put that through on how to use it. Any questions? Anything anyone would like me to go through? Anyone thinking of setting up a business? What sort of business are you setting up? Landscaping. So,
I'll do a landscape supply store first. Like I said, I'm my own landscape supply store, and then once that's established, well enough, I'll go and start doing my own landscaping as well out of it.
Okay.
So people come and buy the product there, and then I'll run landscape their yards.
so you could definitely set up an e-commerce site if you wanted to, and you could obviously go for your Google Places, but you could, depending on the product, you could sell it across the whole of Australia.
Yeah, that's it. I can just ship it.
Anyone else? Anyone? No, again?
Well, I'm actually thinking of selling handcrafted items like knitted, crochet for myself, as well as on behalf of other people that have no outlet to sell their stuff. So for me,
Okay.
somehow on the internet is the best option because
Yeah.
you're going to get a broader audience.
I would think that your best option would be on Facebook. There's something called
I only just recently learned about people selling stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, there's something called Vendor Shopping Cart, and it's a free application on Facebook which will generate you completely free e-commerce site inside Facebook, and you can link it to your PayPal account, populate it with some products, and then literally tell your friends, get them and to share it with you, and
Yep.
you can. It's really interesting. Well, not really interesting, but you can make people like your page to get a cheaper price. Share it with a friend and they get an even cheaper price. So as long as you structure it in the right way, you'll have people just sharing it for you to get the cheaper prices all the time.
What about places like eBay and Gumtree?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
Doing business through
Yeah.
Gumtree.
I think about the fees that they have. I think about the fees with eBay because I've got a friend selling clothing through eBay, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the cost of your product as well as adding on the fees and.
With eBay, it goes by what percentage of stuff that you sell.
Mm.
You know, you sell it or not sell it.
It's you need to work out your pricing obviously, and your structure.
Especially straight up at like thinking of the most financially viable way, and then later I can expand to other
Yeah, I mean,
sides of
it obviously I don't know the exact monetary parts of your business, but you need to look at where will be suitable, what would the fees be, how much would it cost you. Facebook is free, and if you've got a lot of friends on Facebook, or you can get a lot of friends very quickly, you can get them all to come and like your page, post a comment for you. You can spread that pretty quickly as well. So it's just an idea. And the other thing is you could have a daily offer of the day through some kind of. I've seen somebody do that with baby clothes and baby toys, and they're the company that built themselves up to 200 grand a month inside 4 months.
See, with Facebook, you don't have to go into that business thing to actually get your name out there. Like there's
No, you don't.
Carly by Romance, she's like a women's only nighttime activity party planner.
Right. Very delicately put.
She doesn't actually have a business account through Facebook, but she's opened her own thing
Yeah.
as her own like personal type of thing, and everybody seems to like it and go to it, and word of mouth through Facebook is bump her right up.
Yeah, if you do it in the right way, that's why it's important to always. That's why I tried to start at the beginning. Think about your audience. Think about how you'll funnel them, and then obviously make your web properties do exactly that.
One question. Can we get a hold of your PowerPoint?
Yep,
share
I'll
around?
send I've left it on this flash drive anyway. It's on your computer,
Brilliant, thank you.
but I'll send that. And if there's anybody asked any
That's great.
particular questions or whatever, I'll send it through.